Hello and blessings, beautiful souls. Sarava and I share to you. How are you today? It is so nice to be looking into your beautiful smiling faces. It is absolutely freezing cold. I have my fire raging in the background, so if you hear that kind of click, click, click and all that kind of noise, it's just because my fire's on and it's close by because I'm in a tiny little cottage. So today I just wanted to do a fun video. I wanted to show you the top 5 magical oils that I absolutely love to use. These are ones that I reach for each and every day that I'm sitting down. I use them to anoint petitions, to prepare and anoint and dress candles, to anoint jewelry, doorways. I just use them in a myriad of different ways, and I just think that if I ever had to evacuate in a hurry, I would have these in my kit because they are the ones that I pretty much use on an almost daily basis. Now, I'm not going to say daily because I don't do magic per se in this capacity every single day, but one day I anoint, the other day I write a petition, the other day, you know, I'm anointing my body or my jewelry, which I've already said anoint, but that can mean many different things. And so I do use them on a daily basis, not all in one day, but the majority of them I reach for at least once or twice each day. And they just bring me a sense of comfort and familiarity. And that's something that is worth mentioning, because when you are comfortable with your ingredients and you are comfortable with your tools, then you have a tendency to play with them a lot more. Whereas when you have something new, there is kind of like a barrier. It's exciting, don't get me wrong, but there's a little bit of a barrier between you and the ingredient, and you're like, I don't know how this is gonna go. I wonder if this is gonna work. How potent is this? How can I get the best out of this? And there's a lot of thinking that is required there. Whereas once you have tried and tested something, you just know it's on your shelf and you're like, oh, I've got the perfect ingredient for this, and you just grab it and go, and there's no hesitation. So these are those ride or die 5 magical oils that I use in my witchcraft. So I hope you enjoy this video. Okay, the very first oil that I want to show you is this one here. And it is by, let me see if I can get it to focus. It is by the Witch's Moon, and it is called the Witch's Shield. Now, the Witch's Shield can be used in a variety of different ways. There is, of course, that protective quality to it. The name, you know, sort of sets that intention, the protective quality, the shield. But it's also a way in which you can create a sense of confidence within a magical working. So when you put yourself out there and you want to be a little bit guarded, it doesn't have the same kind of essence as, say, a hardcore protection ritual or spell, but it does sort of put up your guards and get you to act more confidently because you do feel well guarded, well protected in that space. And so the shield is something that I absolutely love to add to every single working that I am doing, except for petitions, because petitions are a different type of thing for me. But because I want my magic, my creation, my spell, the active components to be well guarded, undisturbed, so that they can do their thing. So it creates the outer barrier. And as such, it's oftentimes the very last oil that I would add, either in a perimeter around a candle, for instance, or to the outside of the candle as a dressing oil once I have added all the other layers. And so it's a really great oil to have. And this is an intention oil. Now, like I said, this one here was made by the Witch's Moon, but you can make your own intention oils at home as long as the intention and the ingredients align with what it is that you are aiming to do, i.e. the intention. Then you can gather up those beautiful ingredients and make your own magical oils, or you can go out and source them through a talented maker and creator witch, which is what I most oftentimes do. So I have my favorite suppliers of oils, and you're going to see some of them in this little video. So that's the Witch's Shield, a must-have. So that is the Witch's Shield, a must-have oil in my very humble opinion. Right, next I have an oil that came from a beautiful creator in the US called Conjured Cardia. Now, I bought a set of 5 of her hoodoo oils, her conjure oils, and I left them outside and they succumbed to rain. It was purposefully done. I was basking in the full moon and they got wet and the labels fell off. And so I can only really identify this one here. Now, I've used most of them because I bought them such a wonderful array that I kind of knew just by looking at them what had what ingredients. I knew what to look for in the actual bottle. 2 of them got me very, very confused. Nevertheless, this is a lucky hand. And there's no label for you to look at, but there is a piece of lucky hand in there. And you can actively see that lucky hand piece in there. It's probably too small for me to show you, and the bottle is very, very dirty because I use it a lot. But lucky hand is something that I like to incorporate in most of my drawing rituals. So when I'm bringing something to me, I always add a little drop of lucky hand, because sometimes the things that I'm asking for, they're really big and they require a certain amount of luck. Divine timing, if you will. And so I throw in a little bit of lucky hand because I'm not gambling, but I am setting the intention there, and I really, really, really want there to be that fortuitous nature. I don't like to control the way in which a spell is going to reach me. So what I do is I lay down a little luck so that I'm pleasantly surprised. And oftentimes what happens is, you know, the outcome of my rituals and my spells, they come to me in the most bizarre ways, and I'm always so delighted. But that's because I add that element of luck, you know, and for me, luck is all about divine timing. So I make sure that when I'm asking for something, that I'm open to that divine timing, so that I get that intuitive hit, that nudge, that feeling, the intuition, and I go about my day, you know, in keeping with that feeling. And that's me working in conjunction with my magic. And so this little baby here, an absolute must-have in my very humble opinion. Okay, the next 3 oils that I'm going to show you are by the same creator. And the reason for this is that this creator is based in Australia, and she custom makes for me. So what can I do? So I've got a lot of her oils and they are amazing. Now I'm going to start by showing you off this Lodestone oil. Showing you off, that's a funny way of putting it. This is a Lodestone oil. It contains magnetic elements to it, and this is about attraction. It's a heavy attraction oil. It draws things. It's got that magnetic quality that helps to bring things to you. It works in every instance, okay? So whether or not you're drawing prosperity, you're drawing love, you're drawing healing, you're drawing protection to you, a lodestone brings it to you. It like magnetizes it to you. And when you use this in conjunction to the witch's shield, it magnetizes it to the shield, especially in protection work. So that would probably be one instance where I use these two sort of mixed in together. But it's a beautiful oil to anoint petitions. It's a great oil to anoint charms and talismans. Oftentimes when you're making mojos, charms, things like that, and they are an attraction type of creation, you will have a lodestone in there or something to that variety. And then by feeding it with a lodestone oil, you're really enhancing that drawing, that magnetism to that very creation. And it works in exactly the same way against candles. If you're consecrating a piece of jewelry like this one, for instance, and let's say I was doing kind of like a success piece with this, because this is coated in 24 karat gold, I would work with the properties of 24 karat gold, and I would attract wealth or prosperity or money or resources, like workable, prosperous resources to me using this charm. And I would set the intention. I would make sure that everything was done properly in a nice little consecration and magnetism type of spell and or ritual. And I would use this oil amongst the next oil that I'm going to show you. The next oil is Crown of Success oil. And this is also by Juniper Moon Apothecary. I don't think that I told you the name of the creator. That was Juniper Moon Apothecary as well, which is the Lodestone oil. So yes, Juniper Moon Apothecary. She is my magical oil dealer, and she whipped this one up for me. It's absolutely beautiful. You can really see the ingredients at work there. A little gold leaf, juniper berries, and a bunch of other yummy stuff. It's a beautifully fragrant oil, and it's one that is a must-have in my very humble opinion. Now, Crown of Success is a great business oil. So if you are starting up a business, if you are struggling within business, this is an oil that would absolutely help you out. But it also helps in other endeavors, where whenever you are aiming to succeed in life, whether it be academically, whether it be artistically, whether it be, you know, physically, sportingly, there is this element of success, the crown of success, if you will, and it really ups the game, and it helps to set a level playing field. But your own personal active contributions to whatever magic you're creating that requires the use of this, is absolutely imperative. So working with this oil in that capacity, getting ready to put yourself out there, pushing that mark, leveling up, you know, setting big goals and trying to strive towards them in the best possible way that you know how. Using this oil is going to help you get there. It's really going to help you to level up. So this to me is more like confidence in a bottle. There are times where I hesitate to put myself out there that little bit more, or if I'm creating something and I'm not really sure about the creation because I've never seen it done before, it's the first time I've done it, there's a level of unknown, and with that a little bit of insecurity, then this oil is confidence in a freaking bottle. It is an absolute must-have, and honestly, I've had so much fun with this oil. It has brought me so many good things. I really, really have. I've been working with it for long enough to know that it is up there with one of my favorites. Okay, so the last oil that I'm going to show you, which means this is oil number 5, is one of my absolute favorites. This is the best oil in all the land, in my very, very humble opinion. This is the oil that calls to my roots, that honors my ancestors. This is the oil that brings me home. This is a time capsule type of oil that reminds me of being a little witchling in Rio de Janeiro in a coven where everything was just like amazingly magical. And that oil, that herb for that matter, is road opener. So this is a road opener oil made by Juniper Moon Apothecary with the physical road opener herb inside. Now I'm accustomed to using the road opener herb in fresh variety. I'd go down to the witch markets, pick it up and make a bath or a floor wash or something out of it. Now here in Australia, that is not possible for me. And so I have it in oil form, which is a concentrated form of the herb, of the intention that I can put to work in such wonderful ways. So for me, this is an all-purpose oil. It is an all-purpose oil that does it all. It clears the pathways. It opens up your roads in every sense of the word. So it clears away the obstacles. It helps to bring opportunity. It helps you to walk your path with a sense of flow and confidence because there is nothing encumbering you in that way. And it's for that reason that I really do believe that the road opener is probably the best type of magical working that you could learn. If you're not familiar with any other type of magical working, then just research a road opener, get really good at doing it because it is an all-purpose type of working. Now, Gordon White of Rune Soup, who's my neighbor, every time we go for big drives, we always end up in this like funny conversation where we're both sort of like nodding at each other like this because we're talking about the road opener and how it is the only magical ritual that you need to do. Like, if you're going to be good at anything, let's just be good at the road opener. I'm like, yeah, because you could use it here, you can use it there. And there's so many amazing ways that you can use a road opener oil or the road opener herb if you're fortunate enough to be able to get your hands on it, because it is a do-it-all. Now, there are many, many ways that I like to work with the road opener. Let me turn the label around properly. Anointing myself is right up there. Anointing my petitions when I'm, asking for something, it's right there. And dressing my candles, it's right there. The car seems pretty logical. My shoes, again, pretty logical. And anywhere that provides a gateway to a different world. So computers, electronic devices, like multimedia consumption devices, more to the point. So phones and iPads and laptops and, like I said, your computer and even your modems and your routers and things like that. This is a great oil to use in that capacity. Not because I believe that it really enhances your communication aspect, but because of the way that we now utilize our electronic devices, it opens up, entire new worlds. I myself work online. That's where my business is. And so that's where I need to look at my roads when I'm, really creating. In life, of course, everything that I've previously mentioned, car, shoes, body, jewelry if you want, and it's a great oil for the whole family, in fact. I use this on my little ones, I use it on my husband, use it on my dad. It's a really, really well-used oil and one that I would absolutely highly recommend. And I highly recommend this one here. This one by Juniper Moon Apothecary. If you're in Australia, then this is an option for you. If you are somewhere outside of Australia, then America is where the really, really good conjure hoodoo oils are found. And there's many an amazing creator over there. In Australia, there's very, very few. And so if you are going to go outside of Australia, you are going to pay big money. But if you want to support an Australian creator who does really good work, then Juniper Moon. So I have to give my girl a plug because I'm honestly having the time of my life with her oils, and it just opened up a new pathway for incredible magical ingredients that I can finally get here in Australia. And that for me is a huge thing because I grew up in South America. The resources that we have in South America are very different and they come from America. So I had a lot more at my disposal over there, whereas here we are so far away from America and the UK. So we need to get creating in this space, quite frankly. Nevertheless, that was the 5th oil and a bit of a ramble, and I hope that you've enjoyed this because having your favorite ingredients, having your favorite of something, in this case, 5 of my favorite oils, it's really, really fun to try and narrow that down. And it shows that you're actively working to find your comfort zone. You're actively working to find the stuff that you really, really like to use. And that means that you're doing a lot of creating, you're doing a lot of magic, you're witching a lot more than the average bear. So find your favorites, and if you're inspired to do a video that that talks about your favorite oils, and by all means do so. In the meantime, I'm wishing you so much love, luck, peace, and joy. Thanks for hanging out with me for this one. That was 5 beautiful, amazing witchy oils that I can't live without. There you have it. Much love, many blessings. Bye.